So today my topic is PMSY's reform, perform and transform in the fisheries sector. So fisheries sector is a broad sector or the abbreviation of the PMMSY is a Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. This scheme launched by the central government in year 2020 and for the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So the potential budget of this scheme is 20,050 crore rupees. So it's a central share and state share and beneficiaries contribution schemes. So in this scheme, the central share is a 9,407 crores and state share is a 4,880 crores and the beneficiaries contribution is a 5,763 crores. So PMSY scheme is a bring about a blue revolution. Before this scheme, various type of scheme launched by this central government like blue revolution and FIDF schemes for the fisheries sector, growth in a fisheries sector. But this scheme is the largest scheme in any allied agriculture sector. So this scheme is responsible for the sustainable and responsible development of the fisheries sector. So word is sustainable fisheries means this type of fisheries in which work for the future and good type practices is called a sustainable fisheries. So the scheme is for a period of 5 years from financial years 2022-25 and for all state and union territories. So nodal ministry is the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy and part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package. So PMSY is a design. So main address of critical gaps for like fish production and productivity, quality, technology, post-harvest infrastructure and management and modernization of the strengthening of the value chain. Value chain is a new word in our country. Actually, this is from the catch where we catch the fishes to consumer. This is a value chain and traceability is establishing and reverse the fisheries management framework and fisher welfare. So all these criteria, the different types of the gaps are fulfilled by this PMSY Yojana. So main objective, what is the objective of this PMSY Yojana? For harnessing potential in sustainable, responsible, inclusive and equitable fisheries potential. So India is the most water resource country for like three types of sector: inland water bodies and coastal water bodies as well as brackish water. So water resource is much and around 8,000 kilometer square kilometer is area for coastal areas and various type of the pond, rivers, lake, natural and many more resources for the aquaculture. So enhancing fish production through expansion, intensification and diversification, strengthening the value chain with modern post-harvest management and quality improvement. The main focus is a doubling fish farmers' income and generating employment. So basic most objective is a doubling fisher farmers' income and generating employment. So boosting contribution of fisheries sector and agriculture, GVA and export. In currently, the India is a mostly export various type of fishes like shrimp and also export in many countries for various valued products from India, ensuring social, fiscal, economical security of fisher and fish farmers, reversed fisheries management and regulatory framework. So what is the forthcoming plans? So aquaculture promotion will be undertaken especially in a saline and alkaline areas of northern India and also focus be laid to aquatic health management. So basic problem in our aquaculture practices is aquatic health management. We just culture the fishes or nobody has concern with the aquatic health management. So this scheme also will be laid on aquatic health management involving the address of diseases, antibiotic and residues issue which will be supported by integrated laboratory network. Way forward, so fishery and fish farmers comprise the nucleus of PMSY. So the true potential of our reservoirs and natural resources can be utilized by infusion of technologies, various type of technologies introduced in the aquaculture and public stocking, regeneration and water bodies by river and sea ranching programs. So scientific practices most important to adopt it and in a fish farming for bringing India to the top of the global map in a term of productivity. So vision of component of the PMSY Yojana. So vision ecologically healthy. This means sustainable fisheries. So ecologically healthy, economically viable, and socially inclusive fisheries sector that contribute towards economic prosperity and well-being of fisher and fish farmers and other stakeholders, food and nutritional security of the country in the sustainable and responsible manner. The scheme has two separate components. One of these is a central sector scheme, and second one is a centrally sponsored scheme. So in a central sector scheme, that are entirely the funds are excluded by the or transferred by the central government of the India, and the entire project unit in a central sector scheme, total 13 schemes are eligible for this central sector scheme. So directly apply for this scheme to central government of the India, and beneficiary oriented, that is the individual group of activities. In case beneficiary oriented activities undertaken by the government, so entities including NFDB, central assistance will be limited 40% of the unit project cost in a general category and 60% of the SC, ST and women. So noted, will limited 40% for unit project cost in the general category and 60% of the for the SC, ST and women category. So in a centrally sponsored scheme are a special purpose. All the activities are included in this scheme. Any type of production, infrastructure, framework management, all the activities are various type of components are included in this scheme. This scheme shares with the central government to state to encourage and motivate the state government to plan and implement the various type of the program and projects to help attain national goal and objective. For also non-beneficiaries oriented subcomponent activities under CSS component, state UTs, the entire project unit cost will share between center and state. So share of the central government is 60% and the state government is a 40%. And for beneficiaries oriented form, they are both financial assistance of the center and UTs government together 40% and 60%. Same as a general category is a 40% and SC/ST women is a 60%. And final assistance will be shared between center and UTs for following ratio. So what is the eligible infrastructure for PMMSY? So first one is the establishment of new hatcheries. Hatchery is a feed production unit where we develop a state of fishes. So establishment of new hatcheries and construction of new rearing ponds like nursery, seed rearing ponds, development of marine, and with the construction of new rearing pond and also renovation of the nursery, seed rearing pond, broodstock pond, stocking pond, all types of the pond, grow out pond. And next one is the development of marine fisheries, including mariculture and seaweed cultivation. Indian government main focus is a mariculture and seaweed cultivation. Is a very good scope in a seaweed cultivation. Development of the ornamental and recreational fisheries. In a part of the ornamentals, various the scope is very vast in ornamental and recreational fisheries. Recreational means various type of aqua parks and aquatourism focus in recreational fisheries, and technology infusion and adaptation, post harvest and cold chain infrastructure, market and marketing infrastructure, development of deep sea fishing, monitoring, control and surveillance. These are eligible infrastructure for PMMSY Yojana. So funding patterns also discussed in a previous slides. The entire project unit cost will be brought from a central government in a central sector scheme, 100% central funding. The direct beneficiary oriented, that is the individual or group activities undertaken the entities, central government, including NFDB, National Fisheries Development Board, which is situated in Hyderabad. They are centrally assistance will be 40% unit and project cost of the general category is 60%. In case of centrally sponsored scheme, the government is financial assistant, both center and as well as state or UTS governments. The shares is a 40% of the project cost, general and categories. 60% cost for project unit cost is for SC/ST women. So mode of implementation. So first is the committees. So if you apply in a project for central sector scheme or centrally sponsored scheme, so what is the criteria for mode of implementation? So first one is committees. Committees are a central apex committee headed by the Secretary of Department of Fisheries. Project Appraisal Committee, PAC, which is headed by the NFDB, Chief Executive of NFDB. And third one is the Project Monitoring Unit, which is also led by the NFDB. Project Monitoring and Evaluation Unit, which is the Joint Secretary of Department of Fisheries. State Level Approval Committee, which is led by the collector and any district level head. And also various state directors also lead the project approval, state level approval monitoring committee. District level committee also headed by the district collector and district commissioner. And implementing agency, various type of implementing agencies, which is like NCDC, SFAC, NFDB, and all various type of scheduled banks are also work as a implementing agency in PMMSY Yojana. Intent beneficiaries who are eligible for this Yojana. So fishers, fisher farmers, fish worker, fisheries development corporation, self-help groups, joint liability groups in fisheries, fisheries cooperative, fish federation, entrepreneurs, private firms, fish farmer producer organization or companies, ST, SC, women, any categories, and state government, UTs and their entities, and central government also eligible for this project. So approval process in a centrally sponsored schemes. In a central sector proposal form, implementing agency beneficiaries go to the Department of the Fisheries, Government of India, Project Appraisal Committee is NFTB, then Central Apex Committee, and then approval by the Department of the Fisheries. In case of the central sponsored scheme, firstly, apply in a district level. The committee of propose the project in an annual district fisheries plan. Then state level approval monitoring committee consolidate the state fisheries annual action plan, and then central apex committee national fisheries annual action plan, and then also submit this project to the state, all the state of the committees to the central government for the submission of the project proposals, state UTs based on the approved of fisheries plan. Then after project appraisal committee in NFDB, they approve the project. After the recommendation of the NFDB, Department of the Fisheries, Government of India approve the project. So in a central sector scheme, the process is very easy. But in case of the centrally sponsored scheme, the process is slightly difficult as compared to central sector scheme. So proposal submission type. So detailed project report submit in 4 copies, 3 copies to NFDB, and 1 copies to Department of the Fisheries. So what included in this project proposal? The background of the implementing agency, feasibility of the studies, objective, anticipative benefits, employment generation, etc. What is the cost benefit analysis, biosecurity and environmental issues, organization structure, what is the information like from FFPOs or any government institute or any government central bodies like federation, any others. So organization section, mode of implementation, documentary evidence in case of the any individual or like any type of the groups are apply for this scheme. So lease period of 10 years for deployment of infrastructure project for and of 7 years for non-infrastructure project. Clearance, permission, source of funding, declaration on sharing patterns, pre-investment, all design and DPR of the project, and milestone, work plan, and timeline. These include in your proposal and send it to the prepare 4 copies, send to 3 copies to NFDB, which is situated in Hyderabad, and 1 copies to the Department of the Fisheries. This is a website. All the guidelines are available in this website. Address where you send the proposal, and visit pmmsby.dof.gov.in. for any kind of information related to the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. So project meaning, what is a project? So various dimensions are series of activities, process that is a systematic approach. In a picture you see implementation, purpose, scope, pupil, financial, time scale, risk, all things including project. So firstly you work in a various dimension, series of activities, what we do, and process that is systematic approach, a progressive elaboration, beginning and ending. All the project have beginning and ending. Without this, no project proposal are approved. Fixed time, need resources, fixed goal, risk. Because project, all the project have risk bearing. You done like a business. A specific quantity and series of activities, those produce observable, measurable result under given condition. So project phase, so identification, then preparation, appraisal, presentation, implementation, monitoring, evaluation. So firstly, identification. In identification stage, where you project idea. What is the idea? Which topic you submit the project? This is the identification. Then preparation. Carefully develop the proposal stages. Then appraisal. Appraisal means appraisal committee is a NFDB. So every aspect of the proposal is subjected to systematic and comprehensive evaluation, and project plan is prepared. Then after proper presentation of your proposal, detailed plan is submitted for the approval to the appropriate authority. Then implementation with the necessary approval, financing, where you situated the project and project plan is implemented. Then monitoring at every stage of the progress of the project is assessed and against the plan. Then last, evaluation. Upon completion of the project is assessed and a term of efficiency performance, also called project life cycle. So what is a project framework? So aim of project, output resource, selection season, and feasibility and viability. All the project main focus, what is the viability and feasibility of your project. Without this, you are not eligible for any type of project submission. And implementing agency, implementation schedule, risk analysis, and summary. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen so that we can see your full video?
Yes, ma'am.
You can on your video?
Yes.
And more questions now. The first question is, what specific policy changes or regulatory reforms are being introduced under PMMSY to promote sustainable fisheries management?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, can you speak once again?
Yeah, I will repeat it. What specific policy changes or regulatory reforms are being introduced under PMMSY to promote sustainable fisheries management?
Yes. Nice question, ma'am. So what main basically, so this scheme are planned with the aquaculture promotion. So especially for the fish farmers comprise a nucleus of PMSY. So various type of technologies and various type of the public stocking and water bodies by like river ranching program and scientific manner practices must be adopted in this scheme. And for PMSY scheme to bring a make a revolution through sustainable responsible development of the fisheries sector. By this scheme, for various type of the aspects like harassing potential, enhancing fish production, strengthening of value chains, doubling fish farmers' income, and generating employment and boosting contribution, and robust fisheries management and regulatory framework.
I'll move on to the next question, sir. How does PMMSY plan?
Ma'am, one more thing. So in a sustainable fisheries, so ecologically healthy, economically and viable and socially inclusive fisheries sectors that contributes towards the economy for farmers and any other of the stakeholders, which is responsible for food and nutrition security of the country in a sustainable, responsible manner. Yes, ma'am. Next.
Okay. How does PMMSY plan to enhance the performance of the fisheries sector and its stakeholders?
Yes, ma'am. So this scheme started by the government of India in year 2020. Then after our ministry or totally monitors. So what is the aim? So mainly aim is the production wise per capita consumption. So our per capita consumption to 10%, 10 to 12% per capita consumption targeted by the government of India. It is around 4 to 7% currently in a per capita consumption. Production wise, we are focused to our production in crore, matlab, it means total production of the country for in a fisheries sector and various type of the post harvest infrastructure development and moderation of discerning and various traceabilities for establishment of the fisheries management and framework and work for the fish farmer welfare. The main focus. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are some of the performance indicators or metrics that will be used to measure the success of PMMSY's initiatives?
I already speaking in the previous answer, ma'am. These schemes are totally framework for the aquaculture promotion for all the areas like inland, coastal, and mainly fisheries are dependent in the coastal areas. Many of the poor families, poor farmers are dependent in these fisheries sectors. So, true potential for any type of resources can be utilized by the infusion of the technology, public stocking, divination, and water bodies like rivers and any other of the so in a good manner. So parameter are already set by the government of India and the appraisal committee for the evaluation of the good running scheme like PMSY Yojana for production and increase the farmer income. Main focus is a doubling of his farmer income
Okay.
and generating employment.
Okay. I'll move on to the next question, sir. In what ways does PMMSY aim to modernize and transform the fisheries sector, especially in terms of infrastructure and technology adoption?
Yeah, a various type of schemes like for cold chain. So various type of cold storage, construction of various type of the harbors, fishing harbors, and post harvest infrastructure, market and marketing structures, and various type of deep fishing structures, and like boat and various type of the cold storage and kiosk center, vending unit for the development of the aquaculture.
Okay.
Also, under the PMS by Yojana, Government of India established 3 fishing harbors in a broad sector, and renovation also done by the Government of India.
Okay. Sir, is it possible for you to provide some examples of technological advancement or modernization efforts supported by PMMSY to transform the fisheries value chain?
Yes, ma'am. So, firstly, one of the example from Gujarat. So, various committees are work in a individual or a group manner. So one of the scheme is the best under PMSY Yojana is a fish farmer producer organization. So farmers are working in individual or 10 to 20 societies, but it's farmer 100, 200, 300, 400 and 1000 of the farmers are corporate in a corporation form. They work for the fisher production as well as marketing. So the turnover of these cooperatives is around 80 to 90 crore rupees. So yearly turnover is 80 to 90 crore. This scheme also launched by the government of India under PMSY Yojana for formation of the fish farmer producer organization, and other examples for the moderation of the harbors. So by the moderation of the harbor, the production and quality chains and hygiene fish production are increased.
Okay. What role does PMMSY?
And also
Yes, sir.
eligible various type of the success stories in a national fisheries development website. Go and see various type of success stories and contact for the what is the success. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what role does PMMSY play in boosting the income and livelihoods of fisher communities across India?
Yes, ma'am. So this scheme also, ma'am, for strengthening of and strengthening and boosting for fisheries sector, because India is a unorganized, mainly in a fisheries sector. So government of India are implemented this scheme for the fish farmers income generating and strengthening for their livelihood and their employment generation. So, and because fish is the good source of protein, so they are also dependent in the good source of protein, and that's why doubling fish farmers and income and generating employment and their dependency in a fisheries sector, because future of fisheries sector is a very bright.
I'll move on to the next question, sir. Are there any success stories or case studies that highlights the positive impact of PMMSY's interventions on local fishing communities or fishery resources?
Yes, ma'am. Just a second. Kindly repeat the question.
1 second, sir. I will repeat it. Are there any success stories or case studies that highlight the positive impact of PMMSY's interventions on local fishing communities or fisheries resources?
Yes, ma'am. So one story from the state of hello.
So please repeat, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible.
So
Yeah.
ma'am.
Please,
So, ma'am,
please start.
one story from the Andaman and Nicobar. So this is a very small state. So one woman's name is Dileshwari from this scheme benefited. So women's boat owner expanded and horizon fish kiosk. She established one fish kiosk for the fishing boats owner and in the South Andaman. So both registered as a Department of Fisheries, Andaman and Nicobar. Due to market dynamics, she was unable to sell the full harvest at a time. So to solve this problem, she decided to set up the fish kiosk facility for the storage and sale of the entire life, creating the self-employment. So she approached the Department of the Fisheries and Nicobar administration for supported her get and financial assistance for this scheme or construction of the fish kiosk, including fish kiosk for aquarium and ornamental fishes. To establish this kiosk center, that then after the total project cost is 35 lakh rupees. Out of this, 6 lakh rupees were available grant, PMSY Yojana, and 29 lakh rupees were contribution. Her average monthly income prior to establish this facility around 15,000 per month. So total increase the feasibility and monthly income increased in a 600%, amounting of this roughly 1 lakh rupees. So the total turnover of Mrs. Dileshwari is 90 lakh rupees, and the total production capacity is 45 tons per annum, and employment generation is 5. And in a row of this success story, I also explain one story from entrepreneurs, torch bearers. So from the also from the south region. So Mr. Potier and belongs to fisherman families from Prem Nagar, south. It was earning is 30,000 per month, and he got motivated one of his friends to adopt brackish water aquaculture and approach the Department of Fisheries for this scheme, under this scheme for administration to getting details regarding the same. Then after under their guidance, he applied for the construction of the new pond for brackish water culture practices. Under PMSY Yojana, he got the total project area leased is a 1 hectare for the Benami culture. The project cost is 28 lakh rupees, and he received the grant under the PMSY Yojana. So then after the total production of 1 hectare pond for Benami culture is 7 ton per annum, and the total turnover is a 28 lakh. Before before he annual income is around 2 lakh, but after this scheme apply and the potential and various types of the facility are provided to Mr. Potier, then after the total income is 28 lakh rupees and the employment generation is 3. There are a lot of stories, ma'am, for under the PMSY Yojana, various type of the cage culture practices, various type of ornamental and various type of vending units are established under this scheme.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question, sir.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that PMMSY might face in implementing its reform, perform, and transform approach, and how does it plan to overcome them?
Yes, ma'am. So the challenge is a fish farmers intervention and address challenge. So question is the various type of challenge faced by the local authorities like government of India, and because lack of knowledge and lack of scientific manner for the implementation. On-ground issues are challenged, but state official put various type of challenge like implementation, land holding, because various several states more along with fisheries. It also includes major source of income. A large country is economically disadvantaged, so land resources, water resources, because India has a landlocked area, various in various kilometers, the landlocked area, but not utilized for the fish production. So, in order to the consolidated sectors gain a sustainable rapid growth for fisheries sector, so that government of India also make separate department in 2014 after the Department of Fisheries. So, by this scheme, the main challenges for implementation of the scheme in a rural areas for how to benefit to the small scale farmers and small scale fishermen. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Mr. Shubhendu Dwivedi for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome, sir.